Why? And the next question is going to go to Mr. Leos. Should we continue to spend millions of dollars fighting the ACLU districting suit, or should we settle and negotiate with them as soon as possible?
I think Mayor Tate took strong leadership in requesting that we go to 6 districts and let the people vote on it. That would have, in many opinions, would have stopped the lawsuit. Now that the majority of the council voted not to let the people vote on that issue, now we are potentially stuck with there's estimates anywhere from $2 million to $13 million if the ACLU wins that lawsuit. Me, if I get elected to the council, I will reach out to the plaintiffs and try to work out and to stop that lawsuit from continuing. Thank you.
Mr. Chichua.
The lawsuit is correct. Anaheim should have never challenged it, and it's a 3-member council that decided to challenge it. It's a lost cause. The 2 challenges that's been done in California, both have failed. They had to redistrict. Anaheim is a charter city. There has been a charter city challenge, so now everybody's sitting back and let Anaheim spend the money to try to save it, but it has to go to redistrict. That's the law. And they're not going to do it. The moment I get on the council with John, we settle now. That's the end of it.
Mrs. Linder. Yes, should we here in Anaheim continue to spend millions of dollars fighting the ACLU districting suit, or should we settle and negotiate with them as soon as possible?
A few years ago, we watched Kurt Pringle throw away millions of dollars fighting Art Marino in the Anaheim Stadium over the name Anaheim. That was wrong. We lost millions of dollars on that. In this case, I would fight the ACLU. We've seen what's happened to other cities that have gone to districts, including Chicago. It has not been a pretty picture. If somebody in the city wants, or a group of people in the city, let's take the Hispanic community, for example, want to put somebody in office who's Hispanic, they're over 50% of the population in the city. They can easily vote in someone. At large, everyone votes. You put them in districts, only certain people will vote, and it will not be a good majority.
Can I make a comment?
No, not at this time, I'm sorry. We need to move on. In a debate you could, but this is a forum, so we stick to the rules. Okay, Mrs. Linder, did you complete your statement? Yes. Okay, Mr. Lodge. Should we continue to spend millions of dollars fighting the ACLU districting suit, or should we settle and negotiate with them as soon as possible?
Well, I certainly don't think that being told what to do by the ACLU is you just don't give in because they're telling you to do that. The city has a long 150-year history of governance and has done pretty darn well in an at-large way of voting. If it's going to change, it doesn't need to change in 5 minutes. And it doesn't need one person saying that they're going to, they want it a certain way and that's the way it's going to happen. I like the fact that they're studying the issue and see how that comes out. It's a double-edged sword. It's not a panacea. If you get districting, it's not going to make everything wonderful. There's a lot of so there's a big downside to districting. You get a lot of people pulling in different directions and building their little kingdoms in different parts of the city instead of working as one city, which they should.
Mrs. Crane?
Well, I'm opposed to districting for the same reasons that Mr. Lodge said, because I do believe you get back.
Again, speak closer to your microphone.
I don't believe in districting because I do believe that you get backroom politics, and I do believe with Mr. Lodge, the city's been working just fine with 5 council members. So I don't think I would support increasing the number. But with the ACLU, that's a different piece of the ballgame in there. I don't believe in spending a lot of money. I agree with Ms. Linders that $4 million was wasted in a suit against the Angels, and we lost. It's a good thing that they did not have the ability to come back and get attorney's fees, because that was $8 million we would have lost on top of the 4. So I think that we can negotiate. I think that we should talk with the 3 people who have filed the lawsuit. We are a charter city. This is untested water for the ACLU. But on top of that, there's the California voters' rights, and we apparently are not in compliance with that law.
Mr. Brandon?
Thank you. We are going on 10 years here in West Anaheim since a member of the West Anaheim community has sat on the Anaheim City Council, and that person is Frank Feldhaus. On the August 8th meeting, I spoke in favor of districting. I think it is time. I think we need neighborhood representation from every area of our city. With regard to the ACLU, that is a separate and differential issue. I think if the city moves forward, as I proposed when I spoke on August 8th, with a charter review commission next year, and we get the ballot measure on the ballot in June, maybe everything will work itself out. The settlement with the ACLU needs to be handled separately, apart from moving to districts, and I'm confident that if we get the right counsel, we will be able to reach some sort of ends to all of this, but I don't know if it will result in a settlement or whether we just go to districts and it'll be what it'll be. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Roberts?
Yes. The current at-large system needs to be abolished because it gives big business interests and wealthy individuals an upper hand in influencing who gets elected to council. Districts not only would reduce campaign costs, but it would lead to the election of candidates like you and I, who better reflect the city's diverse population. So yes, I do favor the settlement with the ACLU, and districts are coming to Anaheim.
While I have your attention, Mr. Robert, this question is just for you. All we know about you is you're a blogger. What qualities do you have to be on city council governing 350,000 people?
Well, I've been very active in the local community over the past couple of years, although lately I've been going to school. But basically in the late 90s, early 2000 period, I was very actively involved in local community activism, everything from dealing with police brutality and misconduct, to affordable housing, to redevelopment. I know how to use the California Public Records Act, among other things, and I've extracted thousands of pages of documents from various city agencies. I've dealt with law enforcement. In fact, I've dealt with many different police departments involved by activism, dealt with Anaheim Police Department. I'm actually a graduate of the Anaheim Police Department Citizens Police Academy, so, and I have a lot of interesting things I can say about that, so, but my time is up, so I may as well defer it back to you.
Thank you. And this is just for Mr. Chuchua. When you ran for city council 2 years ago, you stated that you didn't know anything about running a city, but you would learn as you went along. In other words, you would do your training on the job. How much more experienced are you 2 years later?
I've been a businessman for 50 years. I've had lots of experience running.
Use the mic, please.
Okay. I've been a businessman for 50 years in Anaheim and Fullerton, and we run a multi-million-dollar business. I believe Anaheim should be run as a business. Yes, I do not know what's going on in the council. None of us do, because we've not been there except for Lucia. And that's why she was saying that she has an advantage over us because she doesn't have to start from fresh. She knows where she's going. We all have to learn. It's a learning curve. I know how to run a business. A business should be run for profit. Anaheim should be run as a for-profit business. And that's my answer.
All right. I'm now going to go to...
You probably should have the last.
Pardon me?
You should probably have the roundup.
All right.